What is going on, everybody? Uh, my name is Angie, and I want to thank you for pushing play and watching another video on Angie Uploaded. So today, there is a warning. I want to let you know that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Everything that you will hear, see, is completely word of the day, alleged, because the people who are thought to be responsible have been charged but have not gone to trial and have not been found guilty. So my suggestion is do your own research, form your own opinion, as I have. This is completely what it is, my opinion on the research I've done. So again, word of the day, alleged. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go on to today's case. Before we do, if you don't mind, go ahead and hit that like button. It likes to be touched. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It is a free way to help me and help the channel grow. Always appreciated when you show the love. So guys, today we are going to be talking about Lacey Ellen Fletcher. Have you heard about Lacey Fletcher? Well, it comes to us from East Feliciana Parish in Slaughter, Louisiana. Now, Lacey was a 36-year-old woman who was found deceased in her family home on January the 3rd of this year, 2022. Lacey was sitting upright on her couch, and that's when her mom discovered her and called 911, said she thought that her daughter was not breathing, and we'll get to all of that. Just showing you a little precursor of what is to come and where my details eventually lead to. Okay, so a tidbit on Lacey. Lacey lives with her mom and dad, Sheila and Clay Fletcher. The reports state that Lacey has autism, but I can't find what end of the spectrum that Lacey falls on. And just speaking from a mother's point of view with a son who has something called Asperger's syndrome, which is a form of autism, it's a higher functioning form. So while my son, sometimes has a hard time communicating what's in his head or beginning conversations and participating in ongoing conversations, he is still extremely smart. He's graduating high school this year with straight A's and will be starting college in the fall. So you have so many different places that you can fall on this spectrum, to nonverbal and etc. So that's why I can offer this little tidbit of a high functioning form of autism, because I see it every day. But I cannot find where Lacey fell. But it is stated that she does have autism, and I'm assuming that that is why she still lived in the family home at 36 years old. Not that there's anything wrong with somebody living in the family home at 36 years old. I was just explaining why Lacey was. Just want to throw that out there. So, from what I can tell, she had attended school until around the 9th grade. I've seen pictures of her playing volleyball and smiling really big, beautiful smile. And then around 9th grade, people started seeing her isolate more. And then she switched over to homeschool. Now, neighbors would say that they last saw Lacey outside 15 years ago. Yes, 15 years ago. That would kind of make me like, hey, Sheila Clay, how's Lacey? How's your daughter? Now, I know people don't want to be intrusive, but 15 years is a long time. But either way, that's what's in the reports. They had seen her outside exercising and just being Lacey. But of course, like I said, that was 15 years ago. So it was said that back then she would speak with the other kids in the neighborhood, and but she seemed a little bit more immature, where they would be talking about teenager things, cars, dates, motorcycles, etc. Lacey would bring up, let's everybody go to my house and watch the new Disney movie that came out. So, and I say that, it said that she was immature, but I say that as I sit in front of a wall of Funko Pops at 43 years old. And I am very mature, but I love my stuff. I love my toys and collecting. So, maturity is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. Some neighbors didn't even know that the Fletchers had a daughter or a child. And mom, Sheila, she worked in the alderman's office. So an alderman is an elected person who is voted in to speak like in front of the city council for the people, and so they in a jurisdiction and they're overseen by the mayor's office. I've never heard of that, but I don't know if they're just not, if they're like in certain places, like Louisiana has parishes. So if anybody knows more about the alderman position, please comment below and let me know a little bit more on that. But anyway, that's what Sheila, Lacey's mom, was. And so back to Lacey, had not been seen in 15 years, and she had basically become a shut-in due to her autism and extreme social anxiety. And those were her mom's own words. So now this brings us back to January the 3rd of this year, 2022. So around 2 a.m., after mom and dad had returned from a weekend trip, Sheila, the mom, calls 911 stating that she doesn't think that her daughter, Lacey, is breathing. And honey, the sheriff's office had no idea what they were walking into. Okay? So let me tell you, as soon as they got there, the stench of urine and feces and just horrible odors met them at the door. So the sheriff's office immediately called the coroner, Dr. Yule Bickham. Now, Dr. Bickham was called, and all right, so first off, Lacey had developed what is called locked-in syndrome. And locked-in syndrome is defined as a rare neurological disorder in which there is a complete paralysis of all voluntary muscles except for the ones that control the eyes and the movement thereof. So some stroke patients, people who OD, they can be affected. Others can too. I have you ever been asleep at night and you feel like you have night paralysis and all you can do is move your eyes? I have done that. So I'm assuming that that's what it's like. So I wanted to throw that out there. So Dr. Bickham, comes in and If you are affected by certain words, you may want to mute it. You may want to skip over it because it's a little graphic. But Dr. Bickham said that Lacey was fused, so glued, stuck to the sofa with fecal matter and urine. She had insects all around her. Now, the crime scene photo showed Lacey in an upright position. She was partially nude, submerged in a hole in the sofa, in the couch. And he said that she had bed sores, ulcers, bacterial infections, and other ailments. She also tested positive for Rona, because I'm not sure if we can say the real word on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. And the cause of death was ultimately acute medical neglect. He also stated that he believes that Lacey had been in that position for 12 years. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that Lacey has been sitting on this couch for 12 years. That is his opinion as a doctor, and this is my opinion as just doing my research. Word of the day, alleged, but that is what the doctor says. So on the scene, Dad, Clay, was emotionless. And Sheila, the mom, was sitting down with her head between her knees, weeping. Lacey's parents, Clay and Sheila, have been arrested. The grand jury was given details, and of course they had to decide, second degree murder, manslaughter, or if there was even enough evidence to go to trial. Okay, the court had to bring in medics to be on standby because the details and the photographs were so graphic. They were worried that it might cause something within a juror, and they may need medical attention. Okay, that is just something I've never heard of. I'm sure it's happened before, but I had just never heard of that. So Dr. Bickham commences to telling this 12-member panel jury that Lacey's death stemmed from severe medical neglect, which led to chronic malnutrition, acute starvation, immobility, acute ulcer formation, osteomyelitis, which is a bone infection, and that led to sepsis. Mom Sheila is reported as saying that she kept her sores clean and that Lacey never complained about them. What the actual... So the grand jury did decide on second degree murder charges, and the couple have been released on a $300,000 bond each. And the district attorney, Tequila, I hope I'm saying that right, says that the first arraignment is likely to be within 2 months, and this is May. This is the middle of May when I'm filming this, 2022. And a trial could commence as early as October of this year. If found guilty, they are facing life without the possibility of parole. And Lacey Ellen Fletcher was laid to rest at the Hillcrest Memorial Gardens in East Baton Rouge Parish, Louisiana. So guys, this is the story of Lacey Fletcher. And it is one that I definitely will have to keep my eye on as the trial goes on and everything unfolds. Remember, word of the day is alleged. But here's my question. Okay? If these parents are going on a trip for the weekend and they have a daughter who has all of these issues, can't move, and okay, who is watching her? Did they not set up somebody to take care of her while they're having their weekend getaway? I mean, nothing's wrong with a weekend getaway when you have somebody that you look after like that. If you're truly looking after them, been in the situation, and getting out is good for everybody. But somebody has to be there, right? So, did they just leave her completely for the weekend? Which I'm assuming they did, because anybody else in their right mind would have already called the police or the social services or something to get this girl some help. So she just laid there with her eyes being able to move, and for 12 years. How sad. And especially knowing that it is your parents, allegedly, that just kept you there. And that it was so bad that she was fused to the sofa where she had been sitting for 12 years. Guys, I cannot wrap my brain around it. And the reason that I brought up earlier that she worked, in the alderman's office is that is a voted position. Not to mention they were well known in their church and very active. Okay, she was in a position where she knew people. She could have gotten Lacey help. She could have gotten her put in a hospital where she would get round the clock care. She probably could have gotten government assistance to pay for it all, because people in government have other connections with other people in government. That's just how it works. But I'm just a little YouTuber here, but I feel like they just left her there. What do you think? And do you think that they will ultimately be found guilty of second-degree murder? I will definitely let you know as the trial unfolds, as everything comes out, and keep you updated. Otherwise, guys, this is all I've got for today. I hope you will hit the like button if you haven't already, and go ahead and subscribe. It is a great way, and it's free, to help me and the channel out. So, without further ado, my name is Angie, and I have just uploaded.